Hi, my name's Neil and I'm going to share my thoughts today on the question, what does the Head of Inclusion role mean to me? Firstly, I view teaching as a huge privilege. I always have done. Being able to inspire young minds, guiding and nurturing them along the way can never be underestimated. But to be able to have a direct impact on the progress, development and life chances that a young person receives as Head of Inclusion, be it SEND, EAL or G&T, is very powerful. Deciding which programme is best to follow in Year 1 Phonics, how best to support the Down syndrome girl in Year 3, or how much support the new Chinese student in Year 9 gets are the decisions that are going to make a big difference. To me, the role is a huge responsibility. The whole school community are reliant on me, not just in an academic sense, but also pastorally, with students who may have social, emotional, mental health needs. For example, a student gaining the confidence to ask for help or to order food at a cafe due to the success of a social stories intervention. Many people don't fully understand the role of the Head of Inclusion or how important a passionate, strategic and knowledgeable individual's impact has on a school. Qualities like being a good communicator, openness, a willingness to adapt and continually learn are some of the personality traits required. Honesty, integrity, patience and a real love of working with children needed too. In 2015, the Code of Practice was first introduced by the Department for Education and Department of Health and Social Care in England. This is one of the biggest reforms to ever occur for SEND. I feel that this document has raised the profile of SEND and made clear that support for our students is needed from birth to 25 years old and beyond. The Head of Inclusion role is about preparing students under the inclusion umbrella for life in a caring, nurturing and safe environment where mistakes are allowed to happen. As Bear Grylls mentioned on a recent high performance podcast with Jake Humphrey, the currency of life is resilience, positivity and a never give up spirit. These are the skills that students learn in school. Not everyone can be the best or the fastest or the cleverest. Head of Inclusion's role underpins this statement and this aligns with my way of thinking completely. Still on the Code of Practice, a further outcome has been the focus on quality first teaching and the reality now that teaching students under the umbrella of inclusion is the responsibility of all teachers, not just the colleagues in the inclusion department. When teachers know their students, have read the passport, know the targets, follow the recommendations, the student gets what they need, but also they feel valued. When every teacher ensures that Johnny, who has a hearing impairment in his left ear, is sat to one side of the class near the front, so enabling him to hear with his right ear, then the Head of Inclusion is doing their job well. My role is to embed this. Furthermore, another part of the Head of Inclusion role is giving students a voice. In my experience, students who require extra support are not going to be the most confident young people who will speak up. Often, they don't realise what support they are missing out on. It's my role to be that voice, to fight for what is right and needed for these students. Being the driving force behind communication with the parents. Creating that hugely important triangulation of home, school and the student. I see my role as one that strives to level the playing field for our young people. I first heard this term when I was gaining my access arrangements qualification as an assessor, and it's really stuck with me. It resonates in all that I do as a Head of Inclusion. This role, like many senior roles, is one that can open doors and make change happen. Whether the students are gifted and talented, learn English as an additional or second language, or special educational needs and disabilities, by creating challenging learning opportunities both inside and outside the classroom and the curriculum can often generate that light bulb moment. The one we wish we could always bottle when they occur. Essentially, the role is making a difference and leaving nobody behind. Making adjustments that to some may seem insignificant, but to others can be the difference between success or failure, learning or not learning, and enjoying school or struggling every day. Putting in place what is needed, continually aware of the graduated approach of assess, plan, do, review. Another informal way of putting it is seeing, identifying and doing. An experienced Head of Inclusion, including teacher or subject teacher, can often see when a child is struggling. Maybe they can refer them. We share this with the Head of Inclusion, who can investigate further as to where and why the struggles may occur. and then take actions to ensure that the correct support or intervention is provided. It's not an exact science, which is why a strong and experienced team is so important and discussions can be had. Also, the links to other professionals outside the school, such as psychologists, therapists and counsellors. Finally, I believe that always having the students at the centre of your decision making is the only way. With this approach and a cohesive, skilled team, we can inspire students and colleagues to accept all, teach all and develop all. This will then snowball by raising awareness of disabilities. Too often people are judged on how they look or behave and not what's inside. As I said at the start of this video, the role of the Head of Inclusion is a huge privilege and responsibility, one that I am proud to call my profession. I'd like to finish with a mantra I've always believed in right from my early work as a play worker through to a learning support assistant, and teacher in primary, teacher in secondary, and also as a parent. The more that you put into a child, the more that you'll get out. Simple as that. Thank you for listening today.